Okay, the sawmill arrived. We got it off the truck. The first sheet is what was purchased. It says before you begin, read this stuff. And there's a lot of stuff on YouTube and Sawmill TV to watch. It's good information. Look at the overall saw. If you've never done anything like this, you're going to want to read this. It'll show you where the serial number to your saw is on the parts, and you're going to need that to fill out the warranty card and get that done. And then you go through the safety instructions. The safety instructions, good to get familiar with that so you don't hurt yourself or anybody else. And the technical data sheet will tell you what size log you can cut, what the water container holds so you know how much water to take out there with you, the bed dimensions, and the weight capacity of the bed, which is quite a bit. Then the next one is a legend that'll show you what every black line is a box, and every gray line is a bag of nuts and bolts to put the mill together. And so I'll tell you what box it's in and what's in that box, which is good to know. And then it goes through the fastener guide. These are actual sizes of your fasteners. If you're not familiar with nuts and bolts, then that's a good guide to have to use so you don't use the wrong thing and have to take stuff apart to put other stuff together, which will probably happen anyway, but at least they put that in there. And here's an explanation of the general assembly instructions. That's really important. And then the first part is a bed, cross bunk, and trailer assembly. And so it's gonna start assembling this thing, and that's where we're at. So it's time to, and it'll go through all the way through everything, and that's your bed, and then it's gonna go through the carriage and the trailer hitch assembly, and right on through everything. There's certain things you do before you do other things, and that's going to be important, so you don't have to back up and retrace your steps and do things twice, because it's going to take a little bit of work. You need to get yourself a level area with to put your cross bunks together, be it pallets or timbers, and put them together on that. And then once you're done, you can brief this book, but you don't have to read the whole thing, but at least brief it so you kind of know what you're doing next before you just start throwing stuff together. And it's pretty easy to follow, and it's pretty detailed, so you shouldn't have no problem. Even with the wiring, it's pretty detailed. So.
And this is a Norwood, right?
Huh?
A Norwood mill.
Yeah, it's a Norwood HD36 V2. And so at that point, it's time to put your thinking cap on and get to work. 18 is the 3/8 nut and 26 is a 3/8 bolt. So number 5, bag 4, bag 1, bag 2. 26 is 3/8 by 1" bolt flanged. It'll be in box 2. 3/8 flange nut. So we got the right ones. I gotta go get a box to put them in.
Now this time I'm going to put the other bracket in there. Hey, Sassy. Oh, Sassy. Sassy girl. I got a lot of help here. Okay. I'd never do anything but finger tight for now, because in case you have to move it, these little square flanges go in here between the outside rail and the out here, and so you just want to kind of lay them there for when you get back to that, you can do that. Later on, we'll get the compressor down here with the generator, so we can do a lot of this. I mean, this is a rare experience, but air helps it go a little faster. The snow's a nice touch. We had that brought in, so.
Didn't get it. So once again, the orange cross piece, put the flange towards the operator.
Don't ever do the same thing the same way twice.
No, heavens no.
Yeah, we bought an extra length for the carriage, so that's what we're putting on now, the extra one. And so we'll be able to cut 16 foot now, and when the molder comes in, it has more carriage, and we'll put another carriage on here, and we'll be up to 20 foot. And with the molder carriage, probably more than 20 foot, but we're going to put the molder carriage will stay on one end, and then we can do logs on this end. When we're done doing logs, we can put the bandsaw to that end and use the molder carriage from this end, and it'll be, just pull it up here and mold the wood wherever we want to do.
And the molder carriage is the thing that cuts the D logs, right?
Yep. Makes D logs or planes beams, you know, whatever. The stainless steel flange is on top of the bunks, and there's no specific order to that or direction, just put them on there.
These are supposed to keep it from staining certain types of lumber.
And that'll keep it from rotting. So we're using 3/4 flange bolt and the same nuts, 4 in each one. For whatever reason, I'm trying to get all my nuts, all my bolts facing that direction. Like I said, for whatever reason, seemed like a good idea. You always try to keep everything the same. Then, if something breaks, you kind of know where it's at, where to start. Hi, Sassy. Oh, baby girl. Oh, baby girl, Sassy's helping. Sassy came to help. Pretty self-entertaining. She just needs a piece of wood to chew on. Okay, we're going to go ahead and tighten these up because this has nothing to do with anything that has to fit up to anything else. And so we're going to go ahead and tighten these up so they're tight. If you're going to do this, if you had a, it could be a Westgard or any wrench, ratchet wrench, makes this a lot easier. If you've ever done much wrenching, or retching, however you choose to say it, there are easier ways to do things. Pick up one of these flanges, start at the end, go this way. We'll hook them up, start laying them out, getting them hooked up, see where we end up. That'll create our spacing. Let's see how we do. We can't put this on right now because it'll be up too high. Maybe, I'll see. So these go like that, and then this track, this goes in the track like that, and see what bolts we need for that. All right, I'm gonna grab some wedges, put under here, level this thing up a little bit. End to end is pretty, not too level, so we're going to pick it up as we go, see how we do. Okay, so this morning we're going to tighten up all the bolts, get him a little more level, get the bolts tight, get the end frame on. We got a half a day yesterday, and we got this far, and so I'll put some shims in there, bring that up a little bit, and we'll start buttoning her down to get, and then we'll put the brackets on for the jacks. And so I'm going to get this all squared away, lifted, leveled, and I got the end piece ready to go on, and so then we'll film some more. That's solid back there. Take one of these wedges and put in between these. I'll hold him right up there where he needs to be. That's real good right there. Okay. Now we'll make sure these are matched up. These two here. Kind of a dreary day, about 34 degrees. But if you're working, it's warming up. That is more than acceptable right there. Now we're going to level across. I think this was my low corner. Yeah, it is. We're going to keep coming up. Okay. Okay, we got our level. So now, this end since that's level, this end's got to come up. And it's got to come this way too. So that's good. As long as everything's level and true and wonderful. Yeah, I'm thinking that's better, because that'll tighten up, see? Yeah, that's good. I think we're going to put them. Okay, I had to go get a box to put parts in. I want to make sure you mark these boxes. So you know which one you're stealing the screws out of. I want to put that trailer block assembly on there because just finger tight, because if you tighten everything up and then you have to fight down on there, I don't want to do that. Okay, the box that has the jacks in it, I got two of them out for this end to put in because it's got the special bolts that go on the bottom of it. And so what you want to do is you want to make sure you pull that pin, rest it there, and take this out. And before you attach this, make sure your holes are facing this way. Okay.
before you attach this, slide this down in there, or it's a little hard to get on after the fact. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this together, and then we'll put that on. Nice part about this is that when this is all done, we can get away with some of this blocking and actually bring it right up to the grade we want to have of that, and that'll make it, it'll be supported by itself, and that's always important.
Okay, I'm starting with this second layer, and the reason they say finger tighten everything is because when these go on top, and they bolt the same pattern as the bolts for the crossbucks there, and so you're going to want to make sure that everything's kind of lined up before you start bolting these on. And then I'm just going to back them out, stick them on, and then I'll start bolting everything. They have a altogether different bolt, a carriage bolt that comes up from the bottom and bolts on. But the advantage of having the jacks in is once I put the jack stands on, I get a certain spacing. I get another jack, then I can get that on and it'll hold that up. Then I can get rid of the timbers to get the bottom bolts in. And it's all, you know, it's 6 1/2 dozen the other. I need to look at where the dogs are going to be, so I can get them placed and not put bolts where they're going to be, and then I can just bolt them right on as I go. Okay. Okay, I'm still putting this panel on. I just had to make sure I was using the right bolts in this assembly, because I don't want to take any more out. And seems to be I am. So we're gonna go ahead and attach this. Now, as we go, there's a, it's sure nice to have an alignment tool. That's from when we were doing construction. Always had one of those. I've used them a lot. And when you're trying to hold 3 things and get a bolt in it, sometimes you just need a little help. And that's where that comes in. Mighty nice to have. This here is also where the that saw edge comes in on the guide. This is where you align that at. Okay, well, now we got to put the guide bars. One of these will go in each one. Like that. And bolt right up there. and that'll be all the way down. The first piece is 2 feet, but it has this one and a saw runner guide on it. And so you want to make sure, so that's the start. And I just got to keep on going. So that's where I'm at this point. I might stop and put the cross bunk in there so I don't have to do them bolts twice. Take him out. That's never fun when you drop them in the dirt. They go in better if you don't. And put that in. Like that. And that's the log dog. They go on this bar, but first you got to put the log dog pick on there. So I'm going to do that real quick. This is that's a log dog, and this is a log dog pick. Put the log against that, raises it. Put the log against that. Then you shove this against the log, like that, and lock it down.
How many are there? 2?
2. There's one more. It's a automatic log dog, and it will probably go right between them. Well, what I'm trying to do is, the saw is going to sit here, so I'll have 8 feet. So I want to put that automatic our dog assist thing. Maybe I might have to move that down one and put it right there, because there's not, I might get it right here. There's 4 bolts. I could probably get it in, but I end up getting a little crowded.